Show of hands. Growing up, how many of you felt that the possibilities were endless? Imagine a girl being told she'd be one of two things: a married wife or a domesticated worker. Imagine one day she has access to a television. She sees something remarkable. It is women working hard, playing a sport, joyous. After this experience, she steps in front of the mirror, the same mirror that she passes by every day. And in that moment, something has been awakened within her. As she stares deeper and deeper into herself, her imagination begins to run wild. That day and every day after, she decides to live beyond the scope of her reality. Ladies and gentlemen, that little girl that was once awakened is me. It was in that moment, reflecting in the mirror, that I saw who I was, and that has allowed me to stand here today, ready and willing to wake West Africa. Women and Kids Empowerment, WAKE, serves to empower young girls through education and sport. Numerous studies have shown that a girl's self-perception and self-confidence can be improved when participating in sport. According to UNICEF, 1 out of 10 African schoolgirls will skip or drop out of school. Involvement in sport leads to higher grades, lower dropout rates, and overall success in other areas of her life. In Guinea, 28% of school children are girls. That being said, women make up 49.1% of the workforce, according to World Bank. And as I say that, I want you to journey with me a little longer. Natoma, ambara seluma. In my native language, this roughly translates to, Bataouly, we are here, we are home. 23 hours and countless time zones later, we have finally arrived. As we step out of the airplane, a long, beautiful hallway dressed in traditional clothing and a mask awaits us. In a place I'd never been, I couldn't understand why it felt so familiar to me. I looked over at my mother, and I wondered if she ever pictured this day, returning home 25 years later with her first-generation 21-year-old daughter. This felt surreal. Natoma, again, embraced by countless family members. Years of telephone conversations cannot add up to this moment. The girls are waiting, my uncle announced. Red, green, and yellow, the nation's colors proudly painted across the court. There were 20 girls that stood before me. They ranged from ages 7 through 22. In that moment, I saw myself. In that moment, I saw my mother. I recalled the countless stories she told me of what it was like growing up as a young girl. In Guinea, 96% of women ages 15 through 49 undergo female genital mutilation. 22% before their 4th birthday, and almost 60% before the age of 9. When asked why this horrific treatment still exists, the response was, first, it was so deeply rooted within the culture, and second, to protect the girl's chastity so that she is ready for marriage. So by the time this girl was 9, she had already endured a life-altering event in order to be ready for marriage. More than 1 in 2 girls will be married before the age of 18, according to Girls Not Brides. What was I doing at the ages of 6, 9, or even 16, not yet fully developed? Shirley Chisholm once said, "The emotional, sexual, and psychological stereotyping of a female begins when the doctor says it's a girl." I gazed across the room once again, and I wondered, prior to this moment, how many of these girls only saw themselves as 2 things: a domesticated worker or a married wife. My plan was to first and foremost acknowledge and validate these girls' experience. Second, to empower them by offering an opportunity that was not available. And third, instruct and empower community leaders to propel these girls forward. This was more than basketball. This was the act of reclaiming their power in their very own bodies. This was the revolutionary act of self-care, living and learning that their bodies were more than their chastity, more than their motherhood, and more than their work. I recalled the emotion I felt when I first saw women playing basketball, with tenacity and undeniable joy. It sparked something within me, and it lit a fire that allowed me to have the confidence to do so much more than sport. Many will ask, why basketball? And I would dare to ask, why not basketball? Basketball has allowed me to travel all over the world and to be exposed to women doing incredible work. Allow me to share Jessica Wu's story. Jessica was born in the Philippines, raised in an area where domestic violence and human trafficking are prevalent. Jessica began playing sport. It was through this experience she found the voice she once lost. She did not stop there. Jessica is now in the process of creating a center and, in her own words, using sport-based education and life skills to create a space for women to heal and find empowerment together. To go from being a victim to implementing change in her very own community, Jessica is doing phenomenal work. This leads me to ask, is this just about basketball? Or is it as much as giving a girl the tools and confidence she needs to raise her hand in the classroom where she is often the only one? Is this just about basketball? In Conakry, women are mothers, workers, wives, cooks, but rarely are they a relentless point guard, an unstoppable forward. Mornings were spent doing everything from conditioning, agility, and skill development, Nights were spent doing everything from yoga to tackling issues surrounding stereotypes and gender discrimination. In between, we went out to the community to inform members of our initiatives. For the first time, these girls were seen and noticed. For the first time, they were looked at differently, and in return, they felt differently. 5 days a week we played. 5 days a week we defied expectations. And 5 days a week we breakdanced. And I hope there's no video evidence of this whatsoever. These girls, they wore their uniform proudly. It served as an armor of independence. They were free to identify as basketball players. And to them, basketball equated to freedom. This ability to live in an alternative world motivated them to give it their all. Instead of spending an hour going to fetch water, she would now spend an hour in the gym, focusing on physical wellness, building confidence, and opening her mind to endless possibilities, dribbling her way through life and defending her goals. Instead of thinking, who am I going to be married to? At night, she would think, what move am I going to learn tomorrow? Who will I be a year from today? Picture another girl. Her options, mom, worker. She has never seen a WNBA game, let alone a college women's basketball game. However, she has seen me. And to know that one of her very own is out in the world doing something she loves is more than enough to create a spark. Maybe today she would step in the mirror and see herself as an athlete, a basketball player. I want to take a moment to talk about my good friend, Evelyn Nakator. At the age of 14, Evelyn attended a basketball camp. It was this camp that landed her a full athletic scholarship to the University of Kentucky. However, her journey did not stop there. In 2017, Evelyn was selected 3rd overall in the WNBA draft. A simple trip to the basketball court changed the entire course of her life. I believe in this work. I love this work. I am this work. I know that I'm living and breathing my ultimate purpose, which is to create spaces for women to dream. Wake will empower girls to live beyond the scope of their reality. They will be able to explore endless opportunities through education and sport, and leveraging these experiences into invaluable skills. When girls succeed, we all win. This started with 30 ambitious girls, and I envision it growing to 30,000. Find what moves you. There is someone out there waiting for you to live your purpose. What has made you step into the mirror, stare into the core of your soul, and awakened you to your endless possibilities? In light of this year's theme, Zero to Hero, I want to make it absolutely clear, if it wasn't before, these girls were never zero. And the person helping isn't the hero. In this story, they save themselves. In this story, they break free from the bondages of societal norms. My desire is to awake West Africa and the rest of the world to women's endless possibilities. I stand as one, but I come in thousands, Maya Angelou. This is what has brought me here today. And for you all, this was simply a wake-up call. Thank you.